Jordan or LeBron? Who's the GOAT? Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think LeBron has had the level of competition has been a lot more insane for LeBron?
Are you being serious right now?
Very much so.
You're being dead serious, bro.
Okay.
You're being dead serious right now. Do you know what Michael Jordan had to deal with, bro?
You think the Bulls had tougher competition in the finals than LeBron has had?
Don't violate the Bulls, bro. Do not compare these new teams to them Bulls, bro. I don't think y'all remember how them Bulls played.
Listen.
Bro. I don't think y'all remember how they played, bro.
I don't think
y'all
promise
how I got to the NBA. I got to the NBA watching these niggas. They wasn't playing with these people. They not finna play none of these games. None of them. You don't remember when Gary Payton was giving us a hard time? What Phil do? Hey, Scotty, deal with this man 94 feet.
I like how he speaks as a we perspective with the Bulls.
What you mean? We not going. We never went. We not having it.
In sports, not every moment needs hype or a long build-up to shake the world. Sometimes it only takes one raw, fearless line. And that line dropped like thunder when Iman Shumpert, one of LeBron's 2016 championship brothers, boldly said, "Jordan is the GOAT." The words themselves weren't shocking, but coming from someone who shared the locker room, the grind, and the glory with LeBron, that hit hard. This wasn't a random fan talking from the couch or some TV analyst chasing clicks. This was a man who saw it all. Shumpert was there when LeBron carried Cleveland out of years of heartbreak and delivered that long-awaited title in 2016. Yet after watching that miracle firsthand, he still crowned Michael Jordan the greatest ever. That statement didn't just spark debate, it froze it. People in barbershops, living rooms, and sports shows went quiet because this wasn't coming from the outside. It was coming from the inside. And Shumpert didn't stop there. He doubled down with fire. He said Jordan's competitive drive was so wild that even at 60, he'd still walk on a court ready to embarrass anyone crazy enough to challenge him. That wasn't just respect, it was awe. Shumpert wasn't hyping nostalgia, he was honoring something deeper, that unstoppable killer instinct that made Jordan more than a legend, almost like a myth that refuses to die. When someone from LeBron's own circle says that, the GOAT debate hits different. It stops sounding like fan talk and starts feeling like a sworn testimony from someone who lived the blood, sweat, and heartbreak beside the king himself. Shumpert survived Game 7 in 2016. He climbed that mountain with LeBron. Yet even after standing on top, he still chose Jordan. That's not opinion, that's conviction. He didn't speak like a commentator. He spoke like a survivor of war, describing Jordan not by numbers, but by obsession. An obsession so fierce it didn't fade with time. That's why no other player is talked about with the same chill in their name. Jordan didn't just play basketball. Basketball lived inside him. LeBron's greatness comes from longevity, versatility, and leadership. But Jordan ruled through fear. He broke opponents mentally before breaking them on the scoreboard. Every fadeaway, every glare, every silent walk back to defense screamed, "You're not on my level." Even Shumpert, who watched LeBron drag injury-plagued rosters through brutal playoff runs, still bows when Jordan's name comes up. Because the way he described it, the Bulls weren't a team, they were a hunt squad. They didn't trade buckets, they hunted. They stalked, cornered, and destroyed. That's the mentality that created a 6-0 finals record, the flu game, and that iconic last shot that sealed history. Jordan didn't just lead, he infected his teammates with his fire so deep that Hall of Famers like Magic, Barkley, Malone, and Peyton got denied the only thing they ever wanted, a championship ring, just because Jordan refused to share the throne. Now, when you stack that next to LeBron's story, you see it plain as day. LeBron went through dynasties, Duncan's Spurs, KD's Warriors, Dirk's Mavericks, the young OKC Thunder. The man faced giants. He reached the finals 10 times, but walked away with 4 wins and 6 heartbreaks. That's an incredible resume, full of miracles like 2016, but also some painful chapters like the 2007 sweep, the 2011 meltdown, and that ruthless 2014 Spurs beatdown. Yes, LeBron fought tougher eras, but sports always come down to one thing: results. And that's where the gap becomes undeniable. Jordan went to 6 finals, won all 6 finals MEVPs, never even needed a Game 7. That's domination you can't spin or debate. That's why Shumpert's words hit like a knockout punch. He wasn't just praising Jordan, he was confessing what players feel but never say. He lived the chaos beside LeBron and still insists that Jordan's Bulls were a different breed. In his eyes, No modern team could hang with that 72-10 monster from Chicago. He said if those Bulls walked into any of LeBron's finals matchups, it wouldn't even be close. Picture it. The 2007 Cavs stepping into Jordan's arena. Rodman grinding Duncan down, Pippen suffocating Parker, and MJ slicing through defenses like a surgeon. Bruce Bowen? Please. He'd get cooked by peak Jordan without mercy. Throw in the 2012 Thunder, and it's the same story. Pippen clamps Durant, Harper hounds Harden, and Jordan finishes them off with that ruthless swagger. When Shumpert said, "Jordan is the GOAT," it wasn't just an opinion. It was a truth bomb from someone who lived the game at its highest level. And when that kind of truth comes from inside LeBron's own camp, the whole basketball world listens, because deep down they know he's right. And then there's the scene that says it all. Jordan dismantling Westbrook with ice-cold patience and surgical precision. Every fake, every pivot, every move calculated like a hit job. It leaves one burning question echoing through the arena. Who on that roster could actually guard Michael Jordan? The truth? Nobody. Not a single soul. And Shumpert knew it instantly. Those Bulls weren't just talented, they were a machine. A perfectly engineered system powered by the most ruthless competitor the sport has ever seen. When you stack the Spurs, the Thunder, even the Warriors next to that Chicago dynasty, their shine starts to fade fast. Sure, they were great, but next to the Bulls, they look human. Every matchup tells the same story. Jordan studies you, finds your weakness, and tears it apart like it was personal. Then, before you even realize what happened, the Bulls have turned another regular game into another piece of their legend. That's why asking who could stop him feels like a joke. Greatness at that level doesn't meet resistance. It erases it. What made Jordan different from every superstar who came after wasn't just his hops or his skill, it was his mind. That razor-sharp mentality that made every game a personal mission. When Jordan stepped on the court, he didn't hope to win. He walked in like victory was already written, and that belief wasn't quiet. It spread. It infected the whole locker room like a fever. Bill Wennington once said that when you played with MJ, you didn't wonder if you were going to win, you wondered by how much. That's how strong his confidence was. It rewired the team's DNA. You couldn't doubt yourself because Jordan didn't let you. His energy made everyone around him feel unstoppable, like destiny was on their side every single night. The Pistons tried to break him. Elbows, bruises, mind games, every dirty trick in the book. But instead of folding, Jordan turned their hate into hunger. Every hit just made him sharper, meaner, and more dangerous until he became almost unbeatable. And when he finally stepped away, he didn't just leave with 6 championships, he left behind the blueprint, the master plan for how greatness is supposed to look. Kobe studied that blueprint until it became the Mamba mentality. And LeBron, for all his brilliance and longevity, has spent his entire career being measured against that same unreachable bar. Because Jordan didn't just dominate, he defined dominance. That's why even decades later, he isn't remembered like a regular athlete. He's remembered like a myth. His legend wasn't built on how many years he played. It was built on that burning intensity. Every drive, every jumper, every defensive stop felt like it carried the weight of fate itself. He wasn't just trying to win, he was erasing doubt, erasing fear, erasing the idea that pressure could break him. For Jordan, pressure wasn't a burden, it was fuel. The bigger the moment, the louder the crowd, the higher the stakes, the more dangerous he became. While most players hit walls, fatigue, fear, failure, Jordan turned those walls into doorways. He didn't just face challenges, he walked through them like they were built for him. That's why his legend doesn't need hype or exaggeration. Because on defense, on offense, in mindset, Michael Jordan was the storm itself. His career doesn't whisper, it roars. Every chapter louder, sharper, and more iconic than the last. Some players chase greatness, others reach for the crown, but Jordan, he never chased anything. He defined the crown itself. 6 finals appearances, 6 championships, 6 finals M5 APs, no game 7s. Not once did the world ever have to wonder if he'd show up. Because he always did, always locked in, always delivered, always ended the story the way legends are supposed to, with a mic drop moment that left everyone breathless. When Jordan stepped onto the court, opponents didn't just prepare for a game, they braced for a war. His presence alone could shake grown men to their core. Players questioned their confidence, their game plans, even their careers when facing him. He didn't just dominate the scoreboard, he dominated your mind. He'd take the ball, the pressure, the entire weight of expectation, and sculpt it into something unforgettable, time and time again. Every drive, every fadeaway, every stare down was another page in his myth that still gives chills today. Year after year, era after era, the story never fades. Even in this new age of load management, super teams, and endless stat debates, the conversation always comes full circle, back to him, Michael Jordan. Because what he did wasn't just recorded, it was felt. His excellence didn't live in numbers. It lived in the atmosphere, in the fear, in that electric silence right before he hit another dagger. He wasn't flawless. Nobody is. But when the lights were brightest and the moment demanded everything, Jordan came closest to perfect that basketball has ever seen. And no matter how many new stars rise or how many new GOATs fans try to crown, there's always going to be one true standard, one unshakable symbol, one name that echoes through every arena, every debate, every generation: Michael Jeffrey Jordan. If you felt that legacy in your bones, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below. Let's keep the debate alive, and I'll see you on the next one.